Trump's tariffs, 5 key points. Donald Trump has upended decades of U.S. foreign policy by imposing a broad range of tariffs that threaten to disrupt global trade. Here are some of the key takeaways. Trump's reaction to tariffs. Live updates. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on tariffs during the Make America Wealthy Again event in the Rose Garden on Wednesday. Countries around the world are scrambling to adapt to the new trade approach with the U.S. after Trump unveiled his tailor-made tariffs, which seem poised to spark a global trade war. Trump has outlined his objectives for the tariffs: bringing manufacturing back to the U.S., responding to unfair trade practices by other countries, increasing tax revenues, and cracking down on immigration and drug trafficking. However, the European Union and China have vowed to take countermeasures, while South Korea has pledged a full-scale response. The damage to U.S. allies, such as the U.K., could be costly, potentially wiping out billions of dollars in economic growth. Here are some early key points to consider following Wednesday's sweeping announcement. 1. Businesses brace for the impact of liberation. Trump promoted the idea of global tariffs in a celebratory tone, fulfilling his campaign promise to free the country from rising prices. He claimed that prices have dropped significantly since he returned to office, but anyone who has been to a grocery store might disagree. U.S. businesses fear broader consequences, warning that rising costs will ultimately be passed on to consumers. Neil Bradley, Chief Policy Officer at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, stated, "What we are hearing from businesses of all sizes and sectors across the country is that these sweeping tariffs represent a tax hike that will raise prices for American consumers and hurt the economy." 2. The China connection. China has been particularly affected by the new tariffs, which have raised the total tax on Chinese imports to over 50%. Southeast Asian nations, including Myanmar, already struggling with war and natural disasters, are also hit hard. One theory is that countries with significant Chinese investments are being targeted. Dr. Siwajidharma Nagara, a senior fellow at the ICS Yusof Ishak Institute in Singapore, noted, "The Trump administration believes that by targeting these countries, it can also hit Chinese investments in places like Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Indonesia. By restricting their exports, they may impact China's economy as well." Many Southeast Asian nations are already grappling with U.S. foreign aid cuts, which have reduced humanitarian assistance and support for pro-democracy activists in regions facing natural disasters and oppressive regimes. 3. Canada and Mexico are spared, but still feel the pain. Canada and Mexico were exempted from the latest round of tariffs. However, as Prime Minister Mark Carney and business leaders reminded everyone, the 25% tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, and automobiles took effect just hours after Wednesday's announcement. Carney warned that while Trump has preserved key aspects of bilateral trade relations, the new global tariffs fundamentally alter the international trade system. According to a White House fact sheet, both Canada and Mexico have been affected by previous 25% tariffs on several goods due to border security issues and fentanyl trafficking concerns. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum stated on Wednesday that her country would not impose reciprocal tariffs, but would announce a comprehensive plan on Thursday. 4. A high-stakes gamble. Trump himself seems prepared for major market disruptions, recently stating, "There's a transition period because what we're doing is massive. The global tariffs take effect on April 5th and reciprocal tariffs on April 9th, leaving countries with little time to respond. Some may seek to strike a deal with Trump, while others might retaliate with their own tariffs. Yet uncertainty will remain the dominant theme. 5. Nowhere is safe. Even the most remote locations aren't immune. Heard Island and the McDonald Islands, uninhabited Australian territories, home to diverse wildlife, are listed separately for a 10% tariff. Norfolk Island, off Australia's east coast, was hit with a staggering 29% tariff, 19 percentage points higher than mainland Australia. This prompted Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to remark, "I'm not entirely sure how Norfolk Island competes with the US economy, but this just proves that nowhere on Earth is safe from these tariffs."